What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dirty Degens. I am your degenerate host, Josh, and tonight I've got a banger for you. We're going to go into SUI and why it is so bullish right now. I've got a lot of good reasons, and I am incredibly bullish on it. Not only that, we're seeing a ton of different metrics pick up for SUI, so I'm super excited to get into that. And aside from that, of course, I'm going to update you on some of my favorite projects in the space. Before I get into that, I do apologize. I know I promised that I was going to have a show over the weekend, and I really wanted to, but I am sad to say that I unfortunately had not only some drama on one side of the family, but I also had a death in the family on the other side. So my entire weekend was ate up by crap, just a bunch of crap. But I'm happy to be back with you guys. I'm excited to get back at it. It's 4th of July week. Everybody's got a holiday weekend, so we're going to have a ton of fun, and let's dive into it. Also, I got a haircut today, and they cut it a little bit too short. So my hair's doing whatever it wants to do. But let's go ahead and dive on into it, man. Oh, not that screen. It's been a while. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. All right. Starting off, though, I do want to talk about Bitcoin. Not really. I just want to say, hey, it's coming up and it's doing amazing today. Trying to push back over 110K. Good to see. We've got trade deals that are resolving around the world, which is absolutely positive. Obviously, also, we have the Genius bill, which is coming into effect. And not only that, the big, beautiful bill that I'm not going to talk about because, yeah, I don't want to. I just don't want to. But there is some crypto things in there, such as capital gains tax and things like that. So it is positive, but it's also negative in a lot of ways. But like I said, I don't want to get into that. What I do want to get into, though, is one of my all-time favorite projects in the space, Big Red zooming by. You know, they actually had one of their best racing months that they've ever had, and that's great. So out of, they had 6 races in June, and out of those 6, all but 2 of them placed in the money. And then there was also 1 first place win. So that's fantastic. And with that, you have Kinda Lucky Lindy, and they are the one that got first place in their race right at the end of the month. And that's great because, you know, he's taking his form and getting better, but we don't need to talk about the horses. But what's happening is Kinda Lucky Lindy is going to be moved up in class, ultimately racing for more money. And I am incredibly bullish on the future of Big Red. I'm telling you, all right, this is how bullish I am on Big Red. Yesterday, I DCA'd about $3,000. So let's freaking go because I needed another wallet that had whale status because I am incredibly bullish on Big Red. I'm telling you, if you knew what I knew about the future of Big Red, you would just be mind blown. You don't know what you would say because you would just be absolutely mind blown. What's coming for Big Red? It's at a $2 million market cap, and it is just going to go ridiculous. We're talking about revolutionizing industries, offering something that crypto doesn't have, period. And not only that, there's some other secret sauces that I can't share. So don't sleep on Big Red. I'll keep you updated, but I wouldn't sleep on it if I were you. What else I wouldn't sleep on is Medicaid. Now, I have this horrendous chart pulled up for a reason. Obviously, it had the huge run up in November and December, and it's fallen back down. Now, Medicaid is another one that actually just today I ECA'd about $1,000 or so. And that's because it has not been at this level since November. And also, like, this is a very, very rare level for Medicaid. It very rarely is at this level. I don't think it's going to trade below this level. I think this is a bounce zone. So, yes, I picked up a fat bag of Medicaid today because I am bullish on the future of Medicaid. We've got one of the 6 projects that Coinbase has picked to have app chain inclusion and be integrated into the Coinbase app. That is massive. And what else is massive is they just released the first activation for the Drop Zone NFT. And obviously, I claimed my global pass. And if you have your NFTs, you definitely should too. Mark, I'm talking to you. I gave you 3. You better get your global pass. You need it. And it's really simple to do. And not only that, it gets you a ton of things. And if you were sleeping on it, hey, there's still time because you can pick them up for quite cheap on OpenSea and Magic Eden and all that. And it unlocks loot box access, power-up rewards, Medicaid airdrops, and you get exclusive entry to tournaments, which is pretty cool. And it's very simple to do. It's ridiculously simple, actually. You go to medicaid.com/drop zone. Once this loads, look at that. Great little graphic there. And then you mint your global pass. I already did it. You can only do this one time per wallet. So if you have 20 global passes, split them up, 3 in each wallet. That's what you want to do. That's the name of the game. So you'll have 6 with 3 and 1 with 2 or whatever. If you had 20, but yeah, so you can mint a global pass on each wallet that you hold an open edition NFT. One sec, I got to ban this scammer. I don't have any help tonight. Oh, I can't ban him. But yeah, so definitely if you did get open edition NFTs, mint your drop zone. There's a lot of bullish things coming for Medicaid. And that's why at this price level, I'm loading up because it's going to get good. When it hits Coinbase, I mean, it's basically as good as a Coinbase listing. Right now, you can look up many projects on Coinbase on the app, and it'll tell you the price and all this other stuff, but it's not tradable. What the app chain is going to do, the projects that are included in the app chain, you're going to be able to trade it on the Coinbase app. And you're interacting with DeFi in that case because it doesn't have a Coinbase listing, but nobody's going to be the wiser. That's the point. It's going to be essentially listed on Coinbase, which is crazy. And really, in December, November, when it ran up to 5 cents, the bullish catalysts going on now are way more bullish than then. So I'm very bullish on Medicaid, especially with where it's at. I am loading up. What else I'm loading up though is Botify. I told you guys about Botify a couple weeks ago, and they just secured a partner with a tier 1 Counter-Strike partner, right? So that's big. There's a lot of eyes on Counter-Strike. I'm not going to bore you with game stats and all of that, but basically it's the first online game I ever played, and it's basically the longest running competitive online game that's ever existed. So it's huge deal. A lot of people play this. A lot of people tune into this, and it's a big thing for that. And what else is big is they've this week, tomorrow, or wait, what's today? Today is Wednesday. Yes. So tomorrow, Botify claims that they have their biggest announcement that they've ever had. So we could see a big price jump. And it's going to be even easier to see that big price jump because they also just got listed, I wouldn't say on a tier 1, but maybe like a tier 2 exchange, Blowfin. So now you've got a lot more people that are able to get involved in Botify. It's a lot more accessible, very bullish, right? And if you're interested in getting involved in that, Blowfin does have some like incentives going on and stuff like that. You can win $500 and whatever, but that's not why I'm talking about Botify. But hey, if you want a chance to win some money, I guess you can do that. Now, what I am here to talk about, though, obviously, is SUI. This is what the name of the game, or the token of the night. We're talking about SUI, baby. We're getting into the bread and butter because SUI, this is the seed attack, right? So here we got this is the daily. But the Cetus hack is down here. And it's had a fantastic recovery up. And now this might be June 22. I forget. Time meshes all together for me. But it is at a good bounce point. We're seeing a little DCA tag there. I'm not here to give you TA, though. I'm bullish on SUI for many reasons. And it's ultimately down to the chain. Right? What's going on the chain? How are people interacting with the chain? How are people building on the chain? What's going on the chain? Well, there's a whole lot of it. And it speaks of building. SUI is arguably the most active chain in all of crypto for developers. And this is a crazy thing because actually development activity over all of the crypto ecosystem has gone down tremendously over the last year or two, right? We have a lot less builders because let's be honest, they realize we've gotten all a little bit too smart for their rugs. But there's a lot of good being built on SUI. So if you look here, SUI is the strongest or the second fastest growing L1 dev community. So layer 1, right? That's your SUI, Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, etc. Right? Your main chains. And they are number 2 in that at 16.1% growth. and they're just a little bit behind Solana at 17.7. But if you look over the last 2 years, they are at 54% growth and they're first. So, and like they say here too, it does go across global or broader trends because development activity is down overall across the entire space. So this is very, very positive. This is the calm before the storm. If you ignore it now, in a couple months, you're going to be too late. It's that simple. Do you want to be too late? I sure the hell do not. And also, I talked about this before, but SUI is starting to heavily outpace Solana in stablecoin transfers and stablecoin volume and stablecoin TVL. And this is just massive because that is the beginning to a blossoming ecosystem. I talk about it all the time. You guys are probably tired about me saying that this is the base of an ecosystem and yada, yada. This is what matters. We need to have money on the chain. It's good for it. Well, it is. But I got to drill it into your head to understand that these boring details are actually important. You know, it seems really boring, but do you want to go trade on a chain where there's no liquidity? You can't get out of that trade. You're up 10,000% and you're holding $1 million worth of it. But hey, the entire ecosystem only has $10 million of TVL. You're not getting out of it. So you need the stablecoin TVL there in order to get out of your trades, right? Otherwise, you're going to take a huge hit. And that's just how it goes. I see Markov 23 in chat. How are you? Where are you from? I'm from the good old US of A, brother. Hope you're doing well. But jumping back into it, the other thing, and this is actually pretty wild. SUI is outpacing Bitcoin, gold, S&P 500, the QQQ, and Coinbase over the last 12 months of growth. So it's like those charts where you see Bitcoin has been up, you know, Bitcoin's up millions of percents over the last 12 years, and it's outgrowing everything and blah, blah, blah. Well, now SUI is doing the same thing. And I really do think SUI is going to be the blue chip of the future. I think that SUI is going to be massive, absolutely massive. So this is very important for somebody that has a long-term mindset. Markov 23, you can ask me something during Q&A. If you're trying to sell me something, if you're trying to get me to sign up for something or something like that, you can just go ahead and leave now. But yeah, I'm not doing that. So obviously this is very bullish for SUI. And hey, it just goes to show there's a lot more to come. A lot of people are very bullish on SUI. And it goes to show we have, he's trying to sell me something. He's on kick. We have CDIS that has barely, they're starting to recover. You know, they're up 123% in TVL over the last month. So they had the hack. They got bodied after the hack in terms of TVL. People were exodizing CDIS, like just trying to get the hell out of there. And they're up 138% though. They're starting to recover a little bit, but they're not becoming a major DEX within the entire crypto space. Again, you have to remember that when CDIS was hacked or exploited or however you want to look at it, they were a top 10 DEX for TVL in all of crypto. And not only that, they were the only one in the top 10 that only operated on one chain. So that's massive. So they're starting to come back, but this is what I'm paying attention to. Look at this guy, number 5, Momentum. In the last month, they're up 64%. They got 115 million in TVL, but guess what? They've only been around since April. They're basically brand new. They're brand spanking new. So this might become the next hottest DEX on SUI. You know what? I actually didn't check. I wonder. Let's just change this tab here. I don't know if Momentum has a token. If Momentum has a token, I might get some momentum into Momentum. It doesn't look like they have a token. Not yet, but they probably will. Every DEX ends up with a token. But point is that we are starting to see the TVL grow back within the SUI ecosystem. So that's very important, obviously. Not only that, SUIland has had some major milestones here recently. I didn't want to bombard you guys with information tonight because a lot of times that's what I do. And we spend 45 minutes talking about stuff, but hey, sorry, I've got the hiccups. Maybe these short and sweet ones will do better for you. But I thought this was kind of cool. SUI is also in that new Formula One movie that's made by Apple. It's in theaters and everything like that. Um, Osbud says out, and then he gave me the middle finger. Come on, man. Why are you doing that? But SUI is in the Formula One movie, and I thought that was cool. And it's just as simple as this, right? He's driving, and you can see SUI on the frame of the car. I don't know. That's cool, right? So they knew the movie was getting made, and they got put in it. That's pretty cool. But cars, SUI, what's that make you think of? Well, it makes me think of DeLorean, which, if you see this chart, you probably don't want to be thinking about it. But I guarantee you know the name DeLorean, right? And DeLorean is an old car manufacturer, right? They're pretty wildly popular, known, right? And largely due to Back to the Future. What do? They hit 88 miles per hour in the DeLorean and they travel time. That's awesome. But DeLorean launched on SUI about a week ago, and they had a sharp drop, but they fell down even lower, and now they're recovering pretty heavily. I do think DeLorean has a ton of connections, very bullish on them. Also, it is a global brand, right? So this is like if Mitsubishi got involved in crypto, right? Everybody knows who DeLorean is. And DeLorean's really interesting because there's a lot of things that you can do on DeLorean's website, or not on their website, with the token. So obviously this is a DeLorean car if you've never seen one, or the new one coming anyway, which I hope to get my hands on. So if anybody of you from DeLorean are listening, send one and put it in my driveway so I can review it. You can go see the other 80 cars I reviewed, but let me review a DeLorean, please. There's a lot of things that you can do with the DeLorean token. So they've got the time capsule, which they only have 8,800 of. It's like their entry into Web3, right? Because, Back to the Future, right? Obviously, the token just launched soon. They've got staking coming. They're also going to have a marketplace where you can reserve a new DeLorean. So that's pretty cool. It's like if Tesla accepted Bitcoin again, why not? For a little while there, they actually did, and they accepted Doge, but why not also accept a token for the car? Well, you'll be able to do that with DeLorean, and I think that's awesome. So I'm really bullish on DeLorean. They've got a huge following. Look, 173,000 followers on Twitter for their Web3 company. This is not just DeLorean. This is their Web3 company. And there's a ton of different competitions and things like that going on. If you want to get involved, I strongly suggest you check out the DeLorean Labs Twitter, because I'm not here to sell you anything. So if you want to get involved in a competition or a giveaway, you're going to have to do things and share things and all these other things, right? So if you want to, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But with DeLorean being still under launch price, and it's still only at a $20 million market cap, I think there's a ton of upside for this. We did see Walrus go over $1 billion, actually just under $1 billion. And DeLorean is a multi-billion dollar brand. So I think with due time, they tried to launch at a good time, but it didn't necessarily work out for them. The market always has its own plan. It's one of those things like you plan, I laugh type situation. But fortunately, they are crawling back up, and I'm pretty bullish on them. And they're having a decent recovery now. It's been a bad day, but 7 days, it looks good. So yeah, they're like 2 weeks old. Yeah, this is like the first 3 days down to like here, and it's coming back up nicely. A lot of pre-sailers and stuff like that are out. What's going on, Mark Anthony? How you doing, my man? Other than that, being the disgusting, filthy degenerate that you all know and love, I want to check out some SUI memes, because that's really all I care about. I am bullish on DMC, though. I scooped a bag. I forget how much. I think I bought like a couple $100 worth. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to dip my toesies in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to sort this by 24 hours. And I'm not going to look at this one. I'm not going to look at this one. Panda SUI, 30K market cap. I'm not looking at that either. Bull Shark, 5 months old, up 50%. Not looking at that. If it's like super new, I'll check it out. What's weird is like none of these new launches, Momentum, you must not be able to launch tokens on yet. I wonder what they actually do. I didn't really look, to be honest. Bull Shark. So, hey, Psyduck into the Pokeverse up 30% today. We can check that out. Pepe on SUI. I hate derivatives. I'm not checking that out. It might do well, but like honestly, I'm so sick of Boys Club. I'm so sick of derivatives. Do something original, you loser. Blub. Hey, I've talked about Blub before. Last time I talked about Blub, they were at like 3 mil market cap. So if any of you hopped on Blub, happy days. Agent S, that's something I talked about like probably 8 months ago, and it's not doing great. So we're not going to check that out. Hippo, 13% up. We've talked about Hippo. Impeccable Ant says, Kulo's coming to SUI. Any thoughts? Avoid it. Nah, you don't have to avoid it. But do what you will. I'm not personally interested. One thing I really am not a fan of, honestly, is just relaunches. Like, I get it, Polygon sucks, but hey, could have made it work. Blub, this has been around a long time, 10 months, as you can see, almost a year. So we'll check out that one. Lofi, I like Lofi. They're up 13%, 31 mil. They're still the biggest meme on SUI. Got to check them out. I met the team over at Lofi when I was at SUI Base Camp in, where was I? Dubai. So that was awesome. Pug with Hat, 194K market cap, 9 months old. Not interested. Alpha City. Is that the name of my show now? Alpha City. We could do that. Uni, 8 months old. Fartcoin on SUI, 17 days. 63K market cap. I don't want to check that one out either. Axel has, they've actually started to recover a little bit. I want to be bullish on them, but like, I'm more bullish on Axel than I am on Toilet Dust. Anyways, let's just see what they think is hot. Let's get rid of my filters of 24 hours. And this is just like the hottest coins within the last 24 hours. So then we've got a liquid meme moving through SUI, 1 month old, 210K market cap. Sounds interesting. It's a really long name. Let's check it out. Suimon, 28 days, up 3%, 1.3 mil. Let's check it out. All right, we got a few to check out. We're starting off with Psyduck into the Pokeverse. You know, the whole Pokemon theme, look at that chart. The whole Pokemon theme came to SUI because they are actually partnered with, crap, I forget the name of it, but a company that has Pokemon trademarks. So that's pretty cool. And that's why this happened. They launched this when that news came out. It went zonk, it went absolutely bonkers, and it fell off. So right now, what we're looking at, this 30% up, is the simple fact that they've had a crazy bounce right off of the bottom. Like, this is their bottom. So not saying it's a good buy, but I'm interested. So Dex Screener still doesn't have the option to look at like top holders or anything like that, which is a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully soon they do have that. Let's check out the Twitter. And we can go look at all of that, but I'm probably not going to bore you with it. Also, it seems like I'm losing a lot of frames. I apologize if that's the case. I almost streamed in 4K, but I switched it back, and apparently that's the problem. So Psyduck into the Pokeverse. They got 5,400 followers on X. Crypto Empress, that's a big Twitter meme coin account. And then ETH, he's actually more of a marketer. But they're following, so that's good. They've got eyes on them. They just launched an NFT, which I'm not big on. Yeah, I don't really see why. Oh, wait, here we go. Why hold at least one NFT? Guaranteed whitelist for future Pokeverse drops. Please don't. VIP perks in our on-chain casino. Okay, that's... Wait, free spins and better odds? You're rigging the game? That's fucked up. Not gonna lie. That is freaking screwed up. That upsets me. You're giving better odds in casino games to NFT holders? I'm pretty sure that's against the law somewhere. Like, I guarantee that's basically against the law. Playable NFTs utility in the Pokeverse. Okay, that's kind of cool. Leaderboard boosts. I don't know what they're even talking about. Monthly raffles. That's cool. Evolvable NFTs. Hey, I'm talking about Pokemon after all. OG badge. Okay. I'm not a fan of like, okay, now that I'm understanding Pokeverse is going to be like a thing that they're launching and that they're building and doing, I guess I can be okay with guaranteed whitelist for future Pokeverse drops. This right here has to change. VIP perks in our on-chain casino, free spins and better odds. You can keep the free spins, and that's a good perk. Better odds, though? No. At the casino, everybody plays with the same odds. That is terrible. I hate that. Everything else I do like. So that's a fine NFT, man. Other than that, I hate the casino idea, though. That's awful. So that just went live a couple hours ago. And everything's just going to be hyping up. Yeah, everything's just hyping up that now. So I'm done looking at their Twitter. We can look at their website, though. SUI returns stronger than ever. Huh? That's Psydog. He's always confused. Revolutions, the evolution story. Hey, look, they've got the Cetus hack on here. Okay. Tokenomics got 1 billion supply, 40%. Though, so we got a pre-sale airdrop to other SUI ecosystem holders. The team has 5%, but they have 12-month vesting, so that means they can't sell anything for 12 months. But it's probably a ladder system. Like over the course of 12 months, they might get a percentage of that supply unlocked. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't talk about a cliff, so we'll see. 5% to marketing and sex listings, 5% to staking, and then you got LP. So overall, this is fine. Pre-sale is the reason why they've got this huge drop, right? Because people got it in pre-sale, price skyrocketed, and then they sold. So that's always typical with pre-sale. Actually, if we go back to DeLorean here, why is it white? That's what this is. So DeLorean had an issue with their pre-sale. Well, no, they didn't have an issue. They delayed their launch a long time. Well, they had people that bought into the pre-sale back in January, and then they finally just now launched, and they had given those people a launch date. So those people had like 4 out of 6 of their vesting drops unlocked all at once. So I can only imagine how many of those people sold right away. Oh yeah, let's go back here. Overall, though, I think Psyduck is a good pickup, in my opinion. I'm going to pick some up, and that's just because of the bullishness around Pokemon and SUI. So whether or not that plan plays out, hey, if I buy it today, I bought the bottom, and if it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. If it goes somewhere, hey, that'd be great. Like even if it gets back to all-time high at almost 800K, that's still a 7x. So I'm bullish on it. I'm going to buy some, and let's see what happens. I'm going to keep tabs on it. Blub, I am bullish on. I've known about Blub for a long time. It's one of the earliest memes on SUI. And, it keeps on building these smaller bases. It has good run-ups when SUI gets hot. Like, look, this is when we saw that huge Medicaid spike. And now it's starting to get a little bit of revival on it. Again, we can't look. Holy shit, look at this sell wall. But it's for like nothing. None of them are over $40. So whatever. Let's check out the Twitter. A degen fish in the waters of the SUI ocean, mascot of SUI network. I would say that's probably Lofi. And actually, the first mascot of the SUI network was Fud the pug. Anyways, it's there. Wait, they're a year old now? Holy crap. Crazy. So Blub, been around for a year. OG. Hey, even Blub thinks it's the calm before the storm. If you sleep now, you'll be sleeping forever. Ron Paul says, wow, I am crowned. You're always crowned, brother. I don't know what you're referring to, but you are definitely crowned, my man. Scallop, they've got 40% of the supply locked for 4 years. Cool. Whatever. They're active on X. That's good. And they do have a healthy amount of followers. They got 49,000 followers, so that's obviously positive. But we do have other things to look at within Blub. I haven't checked out their website in a while. Let me close out some of these tabs because I've got a ton open. I apologize. My computer's angry at me. I'm going to go upgrade my processor. I'm going to get that new AMD 9800X3D or whatever, and we'll change everything. Look at this. This is a bright screen. Came in to get blinded. A degen fish in the waters of the SUI Ocean. Why is Blub a success? I've read it before. I'm not reading again. Yeah, honestly, it looks like it hasn't been changed much. Hey, at least they do this right. I hate when they say these are partnerships because they're not. Like they're on SweScan, they're on Turbos, they're on CDIS, they're on MEXC. Like, these aren't partners, they're integrations. So at least they're adding integrations. I like that. Again, tokenomics here. They were a fair launch. So yes, 75% to the community, 15% of marketing, and 10% for contributors, which is their team. And obviously they did 420 trillion, 690 billion supply. So cool. Simple one-page website. I like these websites. They're great. I'm bullish on Blub. When you're talking about the OGs of a chain, that's why we're bullish. OG of the chain. Yeah, June 26th. Cool. Another one that we pulled up was Hippo. I've definitely looked at Hippo before. Man, I hate that you can't look at the top holders and everything on here. Can you load the chart? Jeez Louise. Huge run up. We're on the 15-minute chart. Let's zoom out to the daily. It looks a little bit worse on the daily. Yeah, it looks, this is the bottom. Basically the bottom, unless you excuse that wick down. But even their bottom's at 18 mil. Their high is at 300 mil plus. So that's pretty good. You got a lot of people that hold on to this token and are going to support the project. I've been blocked. Whatever. I'm not going to the website then. Can't go to the website. Screw you, Cloudflare. Maybe we'll go to X. Come on. They are a CTO too. That's right. Computer, don't fail me now. What the? There we go. Goodness gracious. I apologize. The drippiest hippo on crypto Twitter. First mover of the SUI, the hippo that hops. Cool. 373,000 followers. This is botted 100%. That is botted. Also, yeah, no, they reused an old account because they launched in June of 2024. This account is from September of 2024. So they took an old account and switched it over to this. There's ways to figure that out, but I'm not going to look into it right now. They are still active on Twitter. Their pin post is quite old from when they got launched on Kraken. But they got a word search. We got some memes, good interaction on the memes too, or on the posts, like, good views and good interactions overall. They're supporting the SUI ecosystem. Overall, good consistent posts, like doing 3 or 4 a day. That's what I like to see. How much can you really do with a meme? I guess there's not much more to look at. If I'm bullish on the SUI ecosystem, I'm bullish on Hippo, which I am. So I guess I am. I'm not going to put a big bag into Hippo because, yeah. But I'll probably throw like $100 at this because, hey, if it gets back up, even if it gets back up to its first top and it gets up to 182, that's a 10x. I'll take $1,000 off Hippo. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Now, Lofi is the biggest. Well, actually, Hippo did surpass it. But Lofi is currently the biggest meme on SUI, arguably the most well-known. I hear people talk way more about Lofi than they do about Hippo. So I'm going to say that Lofi has always and will always probably be the #1 meme on SUI. I love SUI or Lofi. I met the team. I was trying to interview them at base camp, but they were just so busy. So many people wanted to talk to them. They wouldn't give me a sweater. So if any of you guys from Lofi are listening to this, give me a freaking sweater. I want a sweater. I live in Chicago. It gets -20 here. Give me a sweater. But let's check out their website. How has it changed? I apologize. My computer is just not in a great mood today. We're waiting for it to come up. All right. We don't have to check out their website. This is embarrassing. We can check out their Twitter though. Hopefully this loads. Oh my God. CPU upgrade ASAP. All right. Well, Lofi, I know I'm bullish on. And again, this is another bottom of this local zone. I'm picking it up. I'm going to DCA some more. I already hold a healthy amount of Lofi, and I'm going to buy some more. Wet. Now, this is one that's actually new to me. I've never heard of it. 197K market cap. It launched just in May 12th. Okay. So it's a couple months old. Well, month and a half. All-time high of about $1 million. Good little market maker buy wall here going on of a penny. This is embarrassing. Don't do this. Yeah, this turns me off of it right now. This is the team. This is market makers. Yeah. I hate this. There's no real buyers in here. Oh, here's some real buyers 7 hours ago. Do they constantly? No. Oh, there's more buy wall. So basically during the day of US hours, they just 1 cent buy spam the. That's crazy. I hate it. I don't like that at all. That makes it really hard to sift through here. And actually for that alone, I'm going to say ignore wet. Hey, Ryoshi C32 DYOR Wooly. Thanks for popping in. I'll check it out after I check out Sweemon. Actually, I think that with Sweemon, it's the only reasonable time to say SUI because Suimon, like SUI Pokemon. I like it. It flows a lot better. Or yeah, SUI Pokemon. I don't know. It's way better than SUI Pokemon. So this one, I'm going to say it's okay to say that. Look at that top candlestick. Oof. That's a lot of action. Only 97K volume, but that's a lot of action today on that chart or on that candle. Check out the website. I'm not a robot. I promise, Cloudflare. Let me in. Look at this terrifying Chad Cutchum. He is terrifying. Oh, God. Suimon is what happens when your childhood love for Pokemon gets rugged into the blockchain and then hits the gym. Okay. So we got like Giga Chad / Pokemon. Okay. No time for stories, just raw, unfiltered childhood trauma liquefied and launched on SUI. It's not Game Boy anymore. It's Game Boy. I freaking love this. This is amazing. I'm not going to read all of this, but I suggest you go read it on your own because it seems like it's going to be hilarious. And then we have a blue Pikachu. I'm bullish on this website. Definitely bullish on the website. Let's check out the Twitter. Can I continue to be bullish? Also, the chart, man, we're not catching a bottom. If we buy it here, we're not catching a bottom, but we're riding a nice little pump here. They've had a good few days. 1,900 followers, 2025 May. Everything's lining up. It looks legitimate. Die-hard Pokemon fans bring satire to the SUI blockchain. I love that. This is hilarious. Look, this is definitely not AI made. And the Suimons, we got a little bit of a Beatles reference going on here. What's unfortunate is that their account's actually labeled as a fan account of Pokemon, which I think that might do them a disservice. So yeah, that's unfortunate. They're very active on Twitter. They're not getting a huge amount of impressions though. So, I mean, a lot of these posts are under like 300 impressions. This one's got 400, but I love all of the memes. Like he's slurping on some hopium. No, this is great. I love all of the content that they're showing here and everything. Suimon, I'm super bullish on SUI and the ecosystem. So Suimon is going to get a good pickup from me. I think I might throw like 500 at it because I love it. I don't know. I just love it. Other than that, I guess let's check out Wooly because Ryoshi asked us to. Wooly, the miniature woolly mammoth. Wooly. It's on ETH. Why do you gotta do this to me? Why do you do this? Oh crap. It's a good chart though. Pretty good chart. We got 2,800 holders. This guy either self-sent it to himself Sorry, hiccups still. Let me get some water. They've got some people making some good money in here. He still has quite a bit of a balance. This guy's all out. A little bit of a balance, a little bit of about half their tokens. It's not looking too bad, but like a lot of these unknowns, I don't like the unknowns because either they're team or they're tokens that the team sent to people or whatever. I'm not going to judge too much based off of that though. But overall, that looks good. Let's check out the bubble maps. Skipping Stones asks if I can check out Bunker on ETH. Yeah, we'll check out Bunker, bro. So bubble maps upgraded everything. And apparently now it's slower than molasses. There we go. I need to see the address list too. Okay, so can I click into this? I can't click into the bubbles anymore, at least not in the deck screener integration. So this is the top 80 holders, and actually it really doesn't look bad. So this is fine. Let's check out the Twitter first. By the way, guys, we're on to Q&A now. So if you have anything specific you want me to check out or anything like that, be my guest. We got 912 followers, followed by Shiny D. Shiny D also was just hosting a Spaces earlier. I wonder if he's been talking about Wooly. The future is for everyone, even if you're from the Ice Age. So they're in a Tesla. I don't think that using Tesla is good for the brand right now. So I think that they should avoid that at all costs. But they're very active on Twitter, and it's not surprising because one, they just got listed on L Bank, and they just got listed on L Bank because this chart is crazy, right? So they're going to be heavily active on Twitter. They're going to have a ton of impressions. They're going to have a ton of engagement because things are hot. That's how it goes when things are hot. So I'm bullish on their Twitter. Hey, look, there's a Lambo. Yeah, I'm bullish on their Twitter at least. Let's check out their website. Website looks cool. I'm down with this. Is it? Yeah, simple one pager. I like these. About Elon has been saying on X for a couple months now that he wants a miniature woolly mammoth as a pet once colossal biosciences bring them back from extinction. Okay. Colossal recently brought back the dire wolf, so this is very well a possibility. If not, blah 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 blah. Again, latching a little bit too much onto Elon. Like, let's go over here and pull up haha. Yes. They've got Tesla developers and engineers that are like involved with their project, and this is how it's gone, right? This is when Tesla engineers were announced, this ginormous candle, and look, it just kind of died off into nowhere. So my problem with it is how attached they are to Elon, because that direction does not work. I like how everything's going. I like how everything looks, but being so attached to the Elon narrative is what kills me. So I'm going to say, like, I'm neutral. I'm neutral on Wooly. I like a lot of it about it, but they really need to ditch the Elon thing. You have to remember right now, Elon's not necessarily like a huge supporter of crypto, too. So, like, the likelihood of him giving a shout out or a like or anything like that to Woolly Mammoth, it's very low. So, I like everything except for that. If there's enough people that are going to buy into that concept, it could do something. But like if their whole message is Elon is gonna whatever, yeah, that's where you lose me. So be careful. Bunker. Man, my computer. It's usually amazing. Bunker on Soul, Bunker on Soul, Bunker on Soul. Wrapped ETH. It's got a market cap of $2. I might need a little bit more information, skipping stones. Because let's see, can I like go to Ethereum and then search within ETH specifically? Like, is it hot right now or anything? Woolly's up here, number 11. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Sorry, skipping stones. Unless you give me more information, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it because, oh, yeah, and I can't sort it by chain or anything. So unfortunately, I just can't find it. Um, well, skipping stones, throw it in oh, bunker on soul. Okay. I'll check that out and then I'm gonna hop off. Bunker on soul here. Hey, I wonder what caused all of this. I mean, it was trading at 241K. So what's going on here? Um, some decent buys coming in. That's a 3K buy 3 minutes ago. Wait, are they trading or are they? Yeah, so they're buying and selling a little bit, but they're still under. So they bought back in. They're down a little bit though. So they'll be selling. So we got some decent buys coming in though in the last 20 minutes even. That's huge. Um Top traders. I like to look at all this stuff. A lot of offloaded tokens from unknown sources that did not buy their tokens. So that's usually a little bit of a red flag. But on the bright side, since this has been out so long, so many people have already sold off guaranteed. So like it's not too concerning. As far as holders go, yeah, the top list looks pretty healthy. So that's good. I'm a fan of this. Um, I don't care about the liquidity providers. Check out the bubble maps. Bubble max looks fantastic. I'm trying to see the magic nodes. Okay, so we got a little bit more of connection, but still looks great. Looks great. So yeah, the bubble maps looks really healthy. It's a little bit harder to judge them when you have these long, drawn out periods where they do nothing. I mean, like this is a SHIB move, right? So yeah, let's check out the website. Hey, 69 people watching. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Again, I apologize. I was away for a little bit. Again, if you want to find out when I'm going to be streaming or why I had to cancel stream, in the description of this video, you will see a link to my private Telegram community. It's 100% free. I don't ask you for anything. If anything, I do giveaways there. So feel free to join in there and you'll get more up-to-date information. Not only that, I talk about things I'm seeing or whatever, but right now I'm seeing bunker coin. This is a lot of freaking text. This is a lot of text. Oh man. The bunker, originally called Project Malachite, is a massive underground facility covering approximately 750,000 square foot. Built during World War II, initially planned as the world's largest jet engine factory, it was secretly modernized by East German military leaders during the Cold War to withstand nuclear attacks. Blah, 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 blah. Wireless secure sanctuaries. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so this is like personal bunker. If you own a NFT, you get personal bunker space for emergency storage, etc., with tradable subleasable rights. That's super interesting. That's super interesting. Direct input in shaping the bunker renovation, staking rewards, deflation, buyback and burns, buyback and lock. Okay, project revenue, personalization services for outfitting and equipping your personal bunker space. This is super interesting. I feel like I'm gonna have to look into this a lot more, but it's definitely perked my interest. It all depends on like how legitimate they actually are. Like because I'm into prepping and stuff. I've yeah, I've got my guns and all that stuff. I'm prepared for the apocalypse. Let's put it that way. The biggest private bunker on planet Earth now in Solana. Also implementing the bunker coin blockchain as per Anatoly's vision. That's cool. Bunker Perps just got launched on L Bank. They've got challenges going on. decent views on some of their tweets, or on the majority of their tweets anyways. You know what? I'm going to say by first look, I am bullish on it because I like the idea. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, I'm with the vision. What was this? This was June 27th. So that's what it was. The MEXC listing is why they had the crazy pump, I guess. I mean, or they didn't post it on their Twitter here because they were launched on 2 chains, or no, they were launched on 3 exchanges. So that's what it was. They launched on 3 exchanges at once, and that did it. And look, Toli's even responding to them. That's cool. I like it. I am highly interested in Bunker. Let's put it that way. I'm going to do some more research and actually make sure that like they have ownership and they're able to do the things that they're promising. If it works out, it'd be pretty cool. Like whether it's war, whether it's an apocalypse, whether it's famine, you know, I think it'd be awesome to have a bunker in my backyard or under my house or whatever. Like I think that'd be sick. One day, if I have the money to do it, I will do it. And I'll probably never use it, but it would be awesome to have. I just think it'd be really cool. Also, I think it was awesome that you guys all showed up for stream today. I apologize that I disappeared for like 6 days. It wasn't planned, deaths in the family and other things. And I'm the last living relative, so I had a lot I had to do. But I appreciate you guys showing up today. I will be streaming again tomorrow before 4th of July. So if you guys want to show up again, I'll have something else to talk about. If there's something you want me to check out specifically, throw it in the comments of this video or hop into the Telegram chat so you can let me know personally. I hope you guys are having a fantastic 4th of July week or anywhere else in the world. It doesn't matter. Smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. Peace.